Hi, I'm your terrible player, and I'm your even worse dungeon master. I'm playing an even more annoying build than last time. Well, I'm definitely gonna beat you, so shut up. Alright, what are you doing first? Alright, I'd like to move up to you and hit you. I use my reaction to use Polearm Master, Warcaster, and I cast Booming Blade on you, so if you move another 5 feet, you're gonna take extra damage. Damn it, I'll just shoot you then. I use my reaction to impose disadvantage on that. Wait, you don't have multiple reactions? It's for the flow of the skit, just pretend it doesn't matter. Fine. Okay. And I guess I'll disengage back 10 feet. As you end your turn within 30 feet of me, I use my reaction and charm you. God damn it. What now, pretty boy? Fine, I guess I'll attempt to hit you. Holy shit, I did! No, you didn't. I used Cloud Rune and redirect that to your best friend. Why would you do this to me? Fine. What can I do that doesn't cause a reaction? Oh, come on! Hi, my name is Offbeat Outlaw. Welcome to another power build. A while since we did one of these, huh? But it's so much long hair now, I can barely even make the swoop. I've got to tie it back. I've had to tame the swoop. I put it in a little ponytail, but I've got to keep it under a hat today because I'm still feeling it out. So anyway, hello everybody, welcome back to another power build video. It's been a while. Today's video, as you saw from that skit intro, is the Actually build. This build is probably the most annoying build I've ever made, and I've made an annoying build. It's this one, and this one's pretty annoying. It makes so many attacks, it takes 7 hours to do a turn, but this one's aggravating for the Dungeon Master and the Dungeon Master only. If he's on your side, it's hilarious. If he's not on your side, you're gonna hate yourself. So this is the most annoying Dungeons & Dragons build ever, other than the last one. Shut up. But what does this build take advantage of? Well, this build takes advantage of a few things. So let's just go through its levels first of all. Obviously, the Actually build, his name is Actually. His character trait is he will explain the rules to something that you already understand, being the worst, interrupting others, and he has no flaws, for he is perfect. Next thing to note, he's a variant human. Obviously, I don't know how to build anything else. With the variant human, we're going to be picking up the feat Polearm Master. This will all make sense in due time. Next thing, we're going to be a Fighter 8, Wizard 6, Rogue 3, Warlock 3. Once again, building to level 20, and after all ASIs, racial improvements, and whatnot, these are our stats. 8 in strength, 14 dexterity, 12 constitution, 14 intelligence, 10 wisdom, and 18 charisma. Now, in case you haven't realized yet, or in case you didn't understand from the skit at the beginning, this build is optimizing for reactions. Now, optimizing for reactions is weird. I understand that. That's a weird thing to do, and I don't recommend it usually, but this is a key, interesting type of character you can fit onto a team now, because, you know what, fuck it. Swoop time. Just kidding, it's going under a hat because holy hell, this is hilarious. It's so much hair. I'm gonna do it this way. Oh yeah. Oh baby, look at that. Look at that swoopage. Look at that volume. Just get under there and it'll all be okay. God, Ash Ketchum, move aside. I'm just having fun with my hair. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I don't know, something unimportant about reactions, probably. It's not like any of you are gonna listen to the video anyway. You're still gonna hop to the comments and explain something I already understand. Anyway, we're trying to optimize for reactions in this build. We're trying to get the most number of reaction activation opportunities. You see, the problem with reactions and optimizing for reactions is that you only get one. You only get one reaction per round. Once you use it, you can't use anything else. But I wanted to make a build that optimized around reactions anyway, because I think there are some interesting things you can do there, because you can't always use your reaction. More often than not, a character is going to have missed an opportunity to use a reaction, or has not used the reaction in a turn, and the turn's gonna reset. But this character, I wanted to make sure that they always used a reaction. As I said, the class spread was a Fighter 8, Wizard 6, Rogue 3, Warlock 3. The point of this build is having the most possible reactions. Starting with our fighter, we're going to have the superior technique fighting style, giving us 2 Battle Master techniques and 1 D6 Battle Master die. We are going to be using Riposte. Bait and switch is in case you want to get some extra armor class, but you shouldn't really be using it for that. This build, you want to save it for the opportunity you get to Riposte. And our AC is anywhere from a 15 to a 17 to a 22 when using shield, so there's gonna be times when you're gonna not be hit. You've got a decent armor class. Next thing, we're going to be using Cloud Rune, Storm Rune, Stone Rune, and Storm Rune. Now, what do these do? If anyone is familiar with me on my channel, you know that Cloud Rune, especially in Melee Ball, is both my favorite thing and my bane, because Cloud Rune is busted good. Cloud Rune is one of the most amazing Dungeons and Dragons abilities that was added in Tasha's Cauldron of everything, but it allows you to do. In addition, when you are a creature you can see within 30 feet of you is hit by an attack roll, you can use the reaction to invoke the rune and choose a different creature within 30 feet of you other than the attacker. The chosen creature becomes the target of the attack using the same roll. So that means if your friends get crit, you can transfer the crit somewhere else. That's hysterically good. Not only can this both save your squishy wizards from being attacked, you can direct it to potentially the more bulky barbarian. You can also potentially redirect this in group fights to another enemy. That's so good. Easily one of the best abilities that the Rune Knight gets. On top of that, we have this ability, Stone Rune. Now, Stone Rune is super interesting. If an opponent ends their turn within 30 feet of you while this rune is active, they must make a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you for a minute. You get to charm an opponent just because they had the audacity to get within 30 feet of you. That is hysterical. If they end their turn, you can be like, hey, what's up? Nice. And finally, on top of that, we have the Storm Rune. Now, the Storm Rune is amazing. Activated as a bonus action, and for the next minute, until this state ends, when you or another creature you can see within 60 feet of you makes an attack roll, a saving throw, or ability check, you can use your reaction to cause the roll to have advantage or disadvantage. That sounds pretty good if you ask me. If an opponent has the audacity to do anything nearby you, from an ability check to an attack roll to a skill check of any kind to any type of roll, if they roll the dice, you can go, actually, that has disadvantage. Or if one of your friends would like to do anything, you can go, actually, that has advantage. It's so rude. Obviously, the fighter has got some of these reactions are all insanely good. But let's see how many different ways can we be active right now. So if an opponent ends their turn within 30 feet of you, attacks someone within 30 feet of you, or makes any kind of roll at all, you can invoke your reaction. This is already shutting down just the entire 30 feet around you, which is great, but we're not even a fourth done. Next up, Bladesinger. Now the Bladesinger, why did I choose the Bladesinger? Well, I love the Bladesinger for multi-classing because its damage output is insane. Combining this with the Warlock, Hex, and Eldritch Blast, we are going to be, not only are we going to be really annoying on the battlefield, we are also going to be dealing out an incredible amount of damage. We're going to be insanely powerful. But for our spells, I've highlighted our important spell lists here. Our spells here: Shield, Absorb Elements, Featherfall, and Counterspell. If someone were to hit us with an attack roll, we can now invoke Shield to possibly prevent them from attacking us with an attack roll. That's hilarious. If someone hits us with elemental damage of any kind, we can use Absorb Elements to absorb that damage. If someone near us decides to fall, we can decide that they are falling slower now, and if anyone even dares cast a spell within 60 feet of us, oh, they're not with Counterspell at the ready. Adding up all of this, let's just check in again on how many different ways we can use our reaction. So our reaction will be used up if someone hits us with an attack roll, if they dare stand within 30 feet of us, hit us with an attack roll, one of our friends with an attack roll, or dare roll at all. We now have hit with an attack roll again, hit us with elemental damage, falling, or if they cast a spell. That is 7 different ways to use our reaction. Okay, we're at 7. Put the timer. Editor, as if it's not just me again, put the timer. Next amazing thing, we're going to be a Warlock. A Hexblade 3 to be precise. Obviously, we're going to be taking Eldritch Blast just for raw damage. Booming Blade / Green Flame Blade. I've chosen Booming Blade for reasons. So, reason why we've chosen Booming Blade is because of the feat that we've chosen all the way at the beginning. Now, what feat did we choose? Whole Arm Master, and for one of our ASIs, we chose Warcaster. So what this means is that we're going to be using our Hexblade, our Pact of the Blade, transforming that into a polearm of some variety, meaning we have a 10-foot reach. If we invoke the Giant's Might feature, we are now a 10-foot sized creature, meaning we have an extra 10 feet on top of that. We now have a 15-foot effective reach. Is that how that works? Well, we're going to be a 10-foot by 10-foot creature with a 10-foot reach on top of that, okay? Meaning that if a creature moves within 10 feet of us, we are going to be able to cast a spell because of Warcaster. And what spell we're going to use is Booming Blade, meaning if they enter within our range with Polearm Master, they get hit with Booming Blade. And if they decide to move another 5 feet, the Booming Blade extra damage will activate. This is a lot of combination damage for merely entering range, which is honestly really funny. Having the audacity to enter our range will invoke a reaction. So on top of the original 7, that is now on top of that, entering into range. Entering within 10 feet of this character will invoke a reaction. And we can obviously cast all of our spells while having stuff in both our hands with Warcaster. So this is already getting a lot. Next thing that we can do, we also have Hellish Rebuke. This is another activation if someone decides to hit us. If we are hit with an attack roll, we can either use Cloud Rune to redirect that entirely, Shield in order to bump up our AC, Absorb Elements in order to absorb it if it's elemental damage, and now we get access to Hellish Rebuke. So if they hit us, we will be dealing we can force them to make a dex save and deal additional damage back. Doesn't this character just sound fun to fight? At 7th level as a Rune Knight, we have the ability Runic Shield. If an opponent is a hit within 60 feet of us, we can use our reaction to force the attacker to re-roll the dice. It's not disadvantage, but it's close. And finally, we have the Scout's ability Skirmisher. Now, what this ability is if someone ends their turn within 5 feet of us, we can use our reaction to move half our movement away. And if we're currently blade singing, that is 20 feet, meaning we can reset the whole Polearm Master Booming Blade scenario for free if they dare decide to stand within 5 feet of us. Or we could charm them because they're definitely within 30 feet of Stone Rune. So in total, and of course we have Riposte. So let's just count up all the ways that we can use our reaction. If someone hits us with an attack, if someone misses with an attack, if someone hits someone else with an attack, if someone stands within 30 feet of us, we can do it. If someone stands within 5 feet of us, if someone hits someone else with an attack within 60 feet, if someone rolls at all, we can use our reaction. If someone falls, if someone casts a spell, if someone even so far as dares enters within 10 feet of us. And I'm pretty sure that's it. 10 different things, different ways to use your reaction. This build is an absolute annoyance. And the worst part is it does so much damage that you can't even ignore it. You have to deal with it. And if you don't deal with it, the Dungeon Master is forced to play around you. This is where the true menace of this build comes into play. Dungeon Master can't do anything until you've used up your reaction, for whatever reason. They can't enter near you because then they face dealing with a bunch of damage from that Booming Blade combo. They can't make an attack roll against your friends, or they're forced to potentially re-roll that from Runic Shield, or they're forced to roll at disadvantage from Storm Rune, or if they even hit them, you could potentially redirect it with Cloud Rune. They can't cast spell because of Counterspell. They can't hit you with a breath weapon attack because of Absorb Elements, and you're just going to tank most of that damage. If they hit you, you have a slew of options, whether that be Shield, Absorb Elements, Hellish Rebuke, and if they hit you and they miss, they're gonna be embarrassed with a Riposte. There's just no winning against this build. And because most of the levels are in Fighter, it's no slouch on health either. It's got a pretty decent health pool. I haven't calculated it, but it's not small. So overall, this build is incredibly annoying to deal with. This build is incredibly annoying to deal with. You have to deal with it. Because of the amount of reaction opportunities that it has, it's going to definitely be a pain in your Dungeon Master's ass. And Dungeon Masters, you can use this against your party as well if you really want to annoy them and shut down anything they plan on doing. So this has been the build. I would rate this build, roughly, if I was to give it a rating. Would I suggest you use it? I'd give it a 6 out of 10. My recommendation for you is to take pieces from this build and put it into your build. This is a very support-oriented class. A very support-oriented class combo. It might not be as fun as some other combinations. Would I use it? If I'm given a level 20 one-shot opportunity that is combat-focused, hell yeah, this build is hilarious. I can't wait to piss off my Dungeon Master with it. I would be so excited to play this. I give this a 10 out of 10 for what I use it. Use it in one-shots, basically. This is a great build to use in one-shots. But that is all the time I have for today. If you would like to see this video, if you would like to use this build in your own games, I mean, you always can. I can't stop you. But if you would like to take this build, the character sheet that I've built, it's on my Patreon. Feel free to, if you join it, it's only $3 a month. You get access to all of my builds, and there may or may not even be a homebrew rogue class pass on there for you if you'd like to use that in your games. There will be more content coming there as always as I make it, so every little bit helps, and it also supports me continuing to make these videos, and as well as the other ridiculous videos that I make. So please support the Patreon if you can. But that is all the time I have for today, so thank you so much for watching. I hope this build has been informative of all the stupid stuff you can do with it. If you would like to see some other builds, please check out the Power Build playlist. I share it with your friends. Tell everybody that you know. And I kindly ask you to get the fuck out of my house.